Welcome to Code Receiver. Not much on class. Okay. The only difference between class and ID is, like I said, now and pronoun, is that in ID is meant for specific things, special things. It doesn't appear here and there. For example, maybe your heading or maybe particular paragraph that you want to be differentiated. So you don't use ID over and over again. Use ID especially for a particular thing. While class can be used over and over again with multiples of things. Okay? So class like a title, while ID is like the real personal name or something. Okay? So ID comes in when it comes to specific. Okay? So having said this, you can read up more about ID on your web page, on Google and other places. But let us go practically. Let me show you how you can actually do ID. And for us to do that, let's come over here. Instead of this class, we want to change it. Like I told you, it's almost the same thing, but just little differences. Okay. So we want to change this class to ID. And don't forget, you don't just use ID like this, but this is just for training purpose. By the time I start using, we'll get to ID a lot. You see how we can, many places that you can use ID. But for now, let's use this just to illustrate or show what we want to do. So we're getting the ID here to be blue. Same blue, don't want to change it. The ID should be blue. And like I also told you in our previous class, for ID you use hash. For class you use dot. For ID you use hash. So let's now go to our style.css and see how this can apply. Okay. So you come over here, press your enter key. As usual, use your hash. So you do your hash. This is the hash as you are watching me. Then you put your code browser. Okay. Your code browser, bring it down. Let's give him a color. Let's give him a color, and let our color for black. Let's give him a color of black. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Color should be black. Let's give him a color of black. And don't forget, anytime you do whatever you are doing, always remember to see. It didn't work. So we'll do our Control S, it didn't work. Who can tell me why this didn't work? Very simple. Because if you check very well, what do we do? Just simply put hash. Well, you can't just put hash. Why can't you just put hash? Remember, hash for ID. Well, like I told you, that CSS and HTML is case sensitive. If you come over here, what do we give by our ID? You say ID is equals to blue. So that means that after the hash, you must put the blue. If you fail to put this blue, it can't go. Even if you put the blue and you don't put hash and blue, it will not still work. Let me show you. If you put hash and blue, that's not just waste our time. If you put hash and blue, it will not work. Why? Because the hash and the blue, which is the ID, is on H3. And under the H3, you have the paragraph in H3 that is working on. So you have to bring out the P, which is your paragraph, and then put the blue. It will be P, comma. Don't forget to put, if you don't put comma, it won't work. Before you now put the hash blue. So practically, let me show you what we need to do for this to work. Let's go back to our CSS. Come over here. Instead of this, you just have to make sure that everything works perfectly well, okay? So it has to be P, comma, hash blue. P, comma, hash blue. For those in Nigeria, the hash is your Naira symbol, right? The Naira symbol. So you just hash. This is it. This hash you use for ID. So P, comma, hash blue. So let's now save it if it's going to work. Now let's save it and see. Of course it does. It has turned to black. So this is how you can work with ID in CSS. And like I told you, ID is not like a class. You can use class as many times as possible, but ID is specific. It's just for one thing, one special thing or the other, and it's just for one special thing or the other, unlike class. So having talked about ID, let's move on to the next one, which is going to work it here. We want to talk about padding, border, or content, margin. Let's talk about the box. Okay. Now, if you check very well, this is a box. Let me call it a box model. Okay? Box model part 1. Okay. If you look at here, these are margin, and this is the border, this is the padding, and this is the content. Everything you see on a web page contains these 4 little boxes. Okay. Whether you put it there or you didn't put it there, the 4 boxes must always be there. I'm going to show you practically those boxes and how you can actually detect them to show that everything, all your code, every website you see is going to have little boxes. So having said this, let us now go inside and then describe it. But know one thing, that content is your write-up, what their website or what you are trying to message your person across. Why padding is the space that you give, the inner space that you give to that write-up. Okay, I'll show you practically when we get there practically. And border is just the border that show where that edge that separates the padding from the margin. Remember, margin is outside, padding is inside. So what separates them is border. You might not see this unless you now put border, make it a little bit solid and things like that, and border will not appear. But it's always that you see it or you didn't see it, it's always there. And let me also tell you one thing today, that most times what you always see is the content. You don't see padding, you don't see border, and you don't see margin. These are things that are always used or that's always there, and the web browser can see it. Unless you want to see it, you give me a little color for you to see it. So having said this, let's delve in and start practically all this, okay, without wasting time. So we are going to use our last paragraph and last heading, and that is, let me just show you. Let's go to our HTML ahead, and don't forget that everything about website is made up of course. Also show you that even the whole body of this our write-up or this our HTML made up of body has its own box as well. So how do we detect that? Let's still work with this still in H3 paragraph. I'll just bring it down. Like I told you, you can do many things, not just color. So here I'm showing that you can do many things apart from color, use it under your ID, because ID does help you to specify a particular area you want to apply some certain kind of style. You want this style to apply only on our H3 paragraph. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Let's start with padding and margin. Let's do padding. Okay, let's start, or let me start with margin. Margin is outside, padding is inside. Let's start with margin. Margin. So let's start with margin left first. Margin left. Sorry. Margin left, okay? Margin left. And let's give him I think 30 pixels should be okay. Let's give him 30 pixels. 30 pixels. Margin left, 30 pixels. So let's save and see if it will apply. Of course it is. So look at it. These are margin. This is the left. So in between this space to this place we are seeing now is 30 pixels. Give me a space of 30 pixels. Okay. Between here and here should be 30 pixels. So let's see. Move ahead. Let's give him margin right. Don't margin left. Let's go ahead and do margin right. Let's do margin right. Bring it down. Margin right. Let's give him margin right. Let it be 40 pixels. 40 pixels. And let's do our Ctrl S for save as well. Now, remember your left. Remember when you are called, for me, this is my left. Okay. If you check very well, left and right. This is my left. This is my right. So I've given margin right 30 pixels, which is this space. That from here to here is going to be 30 pixels. And I come back to my line, say from here to here should be 40 pixels. And you see that the space there is now bigger, like this. And like our paragraph here, this one is much bigger. So let's continue. Let's give him margin top. Let's make it 50 pixels. 50 pixels. Ctrl. Let's save our work. You see it? This one is very clear because you see the length. See the top, margin top 50 from here, from this height down to this, from this white choosers down to the paragraph. See, 50 pixels is very. Compare it with this. So that the difference is very clear. Okay. Now we've done margin top, we've done margin left, we've done margin right. The next one is bottom. So let's continue. Margin bottom. Let's give that 10 pixels, but there's nothing on the bottom, so 10 pixels should be okay. 10 pixels. And leave Ctrl S for save, and you see that's apply as well. What I'm trying to say that we have margin right, margin left, margin top, and our margin bottom. So you have 4 types of margin. If you want to differentiate each of them, you can do it this way. You just present margin left, margin right, margin top, margin bottom. That you want to differentiate them. If you want, maybe because of what your client wants, or because of what you want to specify the margin on each side. Yes, if you want to do that, you can do that. But what is the margin? Everything, let's assume that we want to give our margin left 20 pesos, top 20 pesos, right 20 pesos, and the bottom 20 pesos. Since it's the same number of pesos I'm going to give for all the margin, will it be wise for us to start doing this? The answer is no. All you need to do is just to come over here and let's bring it down and write just margin. One margin. You won't write top, bottom. Let me now delete this so I can know to pass it. You won't write top, bottom, or whatever. Just write margin. Okay. So just come over here and write margin. Just write margin, and you give your pesos. Let's say we say 20 pesos. So this will apply in all the sizes, both left, right, bottom, top, and what have you. Okay. So just do Ctrl S for save, and everything. You see there, you see it, everything has come up. Normally, if you remember, there's a lot of space here, but now the space has come up a bit, so the space has reduced. Now the whole space are equal. So you can decide how you want your work to be. And what if you want to actually add margin to just maybe want our left and right to be 20 pesos, then top and bottom to be 10 pesos. How do we do that? What you do is, since you've already put your 20 pesos for your margin, you still come over here, 20 pesos, comma, put another, let's say 30 pesos, which is the one that you want to carry 30 pesos, okay? And it will still apply. It will fly, okay? Ctrl S for save. You look at it, it has applied. It will still go. So you can actually change it this way or use it one after the other, depending on any way you want it. Sometimes you also do this margin pesos. Maybe you want your top or your left and right to 20 pesos, another one auto means automatic. That means then we choose the right margin for the other two. If you also want it that way, you just write margin, you put your the first one, write the other one, auto, and it will still work. Okay. So hope you are getting the sense of all these things. And don't forget to always end your work with a semicolon. And you do Ctrl S for save, and it will fly. It will still work. So depending on how you can use margin in CSS. For now, we want margin to be the same. So let's give it 20 pesos on all sides. Go left, right, and whatever, it should be 20 pesos. Okay. So let's do it this way, and then save our work. That's for save. Now we want to go to padding. Let's go to padding and also see how padding works in CSS. So when you look at our work, you think that nothing is being done, but actually we did a lot of things on margin. But for us to see what we've done, there's something we need to add up, and that is we want to add background color. So let's add background color to this. You can see the 20 pieces that we're giving it for our margin. So type background color. Remember, I've taught you background color, so you don't know anything about background color, okay? Background color, let's give him a color that will be more specific. Let's give him white. Let's give him Alicia blue. Okay, let's give him Alicia blue. Alicia blue. Ctrl S for save. This is our background color. So here shows where we are working at. This is the one we are working at. You see it? From this is where we are working at. And look at our margin. If you check here, if you check this that we're working at, it's quite different from this. See, there's lots of space here compared to this, and we won't end it there. We still need to add other things apart from background color. Let's give him border. We're gonna go border color. I'm also giving border style. Those two, border color and border style. Let's start border color first. Border color to be border dash color. Okay. Let's give me border color for the right top is black. Let's give him blue. Border color of blue. Okay. Ctrl S for save. So it has applied, but like that blue is not showing very well. Now use something like red. Let me try red. Let's try red. Ctrl S. Okay. I think the red has shown, though not that much, but at least you can see it. And then the other one, which is the border style, should be solid. Okay. Let's give him border style. border style, and under border style you can have dash, dotted, double, groove, hidden, and the rest of them. I want to use solid. And don't worry, we're still when we go through border. Now I know I've taught you a little about border, but we're still going into a detail about border. For now, just do what I'm doing first. Let's try to explain things with this, okay? Control X. Okay, so now it has appeared very well, right? Our red tick line has appeared very, very well now. So you see that we've added margin to all of them. And what we add margin? We add margin of 20 pieces. If you compare this, look at this, 20 pieces per year, and compare with this, we didn't add any margin to this. So that this one is still very, very close to the edge. But these ones that we've added, you see that there's a lot of space in between. Okay, we can still do something white to show that it's working. For example, let's say we want to add another picture in between this place, one picture to be here. So let's now increase this margin. Let's say margin left. Let me just add margin left. Oh, these 20 pixels. Let's add margin left. Let's add margin left. Margin dash left. I've explained that already before now. Let's make it like 400 pixels. See how it will be. 400 pixels, okay? And Control S for save. You see how wide it is. That become very, very wide. Now you can see it. So we can actually add something here. We can add something here. Any other thing that we feel like we add it here. Okay. You know why it's applying to all of them right now? Because of the P that we put there, the P. If I remove this P, it's not going to apply to every one of them. But for now, let's leave it at P, which is a paragraph. For now, so that because we still want to teach. If I actually want this into, if we don't want you to apply this to you, to apply to all everything, then remove the P. That way you always deal with the one we are dealing with, okay? And you can do things like this. For example, maybe your client, you want to add a picture here or another background image here. That's why you see some website, they have one side is picture, the other side is write-up. One side is write-up, another side is picture. You can use this to achieve this goal and use this kind of space and you get what you want. So let's continue. Let's not stop over here. We are still on box model. So let's now deal with padding. Having seen this, we can now go back and deal with padding. So let's remove this 400. Let's move 400 so we can work with padding. We don't want it to be this space. Control save it. Now padding, like I told you, padding is for the inside. Padding is for the inside. So let's add a padding and you see how it will work on the inside. If you check, so now that all our write-up is just very close to the line. Very close to the line. There's no single space between the line and our write-up. Also check up the same thing. There's no space. How do you now add space inside? That is when padding comes on board. So let's start it right away. Let's start with padding. And just like margin, you can have padding left, padding right, padding bottom, padding top, or just one that will occupy everything. So let's make padding like 30 pieces that will cover everything. So this way it will be all sides of it. There will be 30 pieces space on all sides. Okay. Control S for save. Let's now come over and see if it's working and it just have to work. Sorry, we didn't get the spelling word for padding. That's why it's not working. That's why you also need to work with your spelling. Everything has to be okay. Padding. And let's give him 30 pieces. I want it to be a little bit wide so I can see it. 30 pieces. And let's save. Did you see it? Did you see it? Look at the space now. From this thick line to this place, you see that there's a space. So just like our box model, if you check here, this is the content. Then in between the space to this is the padding. Why this thick line you are seeing is the border that differentiates the padding from the margin. Because here is the margin. So you see that everything you see has a box content. What about the whole write-up? Does it also have a box on them? Of course it does. Just copy this, everything that we've done, just copy most of this we did here. Just copy up to leave the color side, copy up to margin, copy it. I want to show you that even the whole body has, scroll down, just go up, come to the body side of it, and that is here. I want to paste it here. You see that everything as far as website is concerned has border box. In fact, let's call it box model. Has a box model. Control V, and then use Control S to save it. Now, do you see? Do you see it? This is the you see this is the margin. Look at the margin between the body, the whole body to our right. This is the margin. Margin top, right, left, and bottom. And in between the space from here down, you see the padding. So padding is there already. And so you find out that the big line there shows that there's a box model on all. Everything you can think of as far as website is concerned has a box model. Are you learning something? And so don't forget, you have to learn because you're going to make use of it on most of the website you're going to design or create for yourself or for clients. So play around this. And don't forget what I said, that every boss, every write-up, every element has a boss as far as website design is concerned. Play around this, try your best to know everything about the boss model, and at the same time practice your ID and your class, because I've talked about class before. And if you're able to do this, I will tell you congratulations. See you in our next class where we'll take another topic for the day. So for now, goodbye and see you in our next class.